Summer's especially hard on pets. Hot weather can take its toll quickly on our four-legged friends. One of the newest pet service businesses in Bristol is Wolfpack. There are a lot of things pet owners need to pay attention to during the summer. General Manager Dawn Cassina says there's some definite signs when your pet is in distress. So Dawn, we've already almost gotten to 90 and we know that the hotter days are coming. How can you tell when a pet, especially a dog, is in distress, and what are some of the things that you as a pet parent can take into consideration to make sure that they're safe?
Excessive panting is like a major thing. Usually the tongue off the side of the mouth as opposed to the front is another indicator that they're starting to get a little hot, a little overheated. Difficulty breathing, increased heart rate, increased respiratory rate. Some dogs vomit, seizures, drooling, weakness, are basically some signs that you can tell.
So how can you tell the difference like between difficulty breathing and panting? Is it just one is more to the extreme, or how can you tell?
Yeah, definitely. Way more extreme. The panting is very heavy. I don't really want to demonstrate the panting.
Yeah.
But you could tell the difference between like the dogs, like a normal pant, because dogs pant all the time. That's how they regulate their body temperature.
Right.
So you could definitely tell the difference if the panting is a lot heavier, it's a lot deeper. You could see it more in the chest with the breathing. So that's definitely a good way to tell.
Okay, so we know that they've been outside and they may be on that borderline. What are some of the first things that we need to do?
Get them in the shade or get them inside to a cooler area. You can apply like ice packs or cold towels to the back of the neck, the chest, and the head. Don't ever run them under cold water.
Oh wow, okay.
Cool water is okay. And get them to a vet immediately. Let's say
you've let them out and you've let them kind of run around and now you know they're in a little bit of trouble. What are some of the things that pet owners should have around the house in case there is an emergency?
Well, you want to have your basic first aid stuff like gauze, antiseptic, like a Neosporin type of thing, tweezers, like an old credit card or something to be able to remove a stinger.
Splinter or some of this. Like we're in a lot of wooded area here. I'm sure that sticks get in, I know my dog's paws quite a bit like that. And so what are some of the other things you might have?
Benadryl's a good thing to keep on hand in case they get stung by a bee.
Just like right across the counter?
Yep,
oh, okay.
Regular over-the-counter Benadryl. Just double check with your vet as far as dosage.
Right.
Hydrogen peroxide is another good thing to have because it can induce vomiting if the dogs were to ingest something that they shouldn't, like a toxin that is not good for them. But again, don't just do it on your own. Do it under the direction of like poison control or your vet.
So what are some of the things, like I know that a lot of people I see, they'll go on a trail hike or they're going to have the dog run beside them or something like that. What are some of the handy things that if you're going to kind of go on a little nature trail or something like that that you should take with you?
I would definitely have water, fresh, clean water for them. Some sort of portable bowl for them to drink out of.
Which are very common. I mean, you can find those anywhere.
You can clip-on ones. You can clip them right to your pack. If you can keep some type of like ice pack or like cooling pack with you, would be a good idea just in case, you know, they start to overheat and you're way out.
Now, one of the things you'd said is you don't dunk them. Would it be a good idea? Because I know, like, if you're a runner or walker, you might have just a damp or a wet wash rag. Is that something you'd recommend to have if you were doing that?
Yep. You could use that with some type of cool rag because it could help cool them down while you have to give you a little bit of extra time to get them to a vet. But also on really, really hot days, I don't recommend taking them on long hikes or jogs or anything like that because you don't want to overwork them in the heat because that can just lead to the heat exhaustion or the heat stroke more.
So there's a lot of ponds and lakes in our area. Let's say you're outside. Is there any danger of them going ahead and getting in the pond or the lake or anything if it's hot like that?
No, I wouldn't see it. I would just be really careful because not all dogs can swim.
That's right.
That was, you know, like pool safety, pond safety, water safety is a big thing. They do sell life jackets, like a little inflatable like vest that dogs can wear if they're going to be going out.
That'd be fun, yeah.
If you're going to put them out in the pond or a pool.
So we're in the middle of summer. A lot of people are starting to think about their vacations or ready to go on their vacations. Yeah. And let's say you're going on a road trip or one that you can travel with your pet. what are some of the good advices of how to keep them safe and things that you need to bring, and how much should they get out and run around?
Okay, traveling with pets is it's always been kind of like an iffy subject. Depending on where you're going, I would look for a pet-friendly hotel or rental, definitely. Locate the nearest emergency vet.
Right.
Just in case something does happen, there's one local to where you're going to be staying. I would also recommend looking to see if there's a kennel or a boarding facility nearby where you're staying, just in case your plans change, something happens, and you need to be able to board your pet while you're away.
One of the good things too about a lot of the online booking sites, it actually tells you, because pet tourism is pretty popular.
Yeah.
You can really check, does your hotel take them or not?
Yep.
So let's say we're traveling across the country or somewhere else and we're not able to take our pet. What are some of the things if we would have to either put them in a boarding situation? What do you look for? Because I know here at Wolfpack that you all board animals. What are some of the things that you would ask somebody to say, this is a good place for my pet?
I would look for somewhere that's staffed 24/7, so the dogs are never left alone, which we are.
Right.
Climate control, if their staff is first aid CPR certified in pets, is usually something pretty good. I would recommend a facility that makes sure that they're only accepting dogs that are up to date on their vaccines.
Right.
Because some people might kind of try to let it slide a little bit. So I would make sure that definitely up to date on vaccines is a big thing. I mean, you could talk to your neighbors, talk to friends, see where they've left their dogs when they've gone away. Do your research.
And you should have one packet, I believe, of all of your medical records,
Yep.
right? Because I think when you check them in to make sure they had their parvo shots, their rabies
Yep.
shots, and all of that thing, keeping that, I guess, kind of like a child, you would have all of those in one space.
Definitely.
So let's say that we want to travel with the pet, but now we're on an airplane. What are some of the things that a pet parent should be advised of and be prepared for?
I would do your research on the airline, because lately in the news there's been a lot of stories that don't have very good outcomes. I would just do your research on the airline, see how they keep temperatures regulated, make sure that the dogs have water, just to make sure that the airline is taking their precautions to make sure that your pet is safe in the cargo.
I think, and it's just not for summer, but there's a lot of things around our household that are very common to us, but they're very dangerous for a pet. What are some of those?
Oh, there's a lot of things. In summertime, you want to be careful with pesticides. They do have pet-friendly ones now. I personally just bought one to spray my yard to try to keep the ticks at bay. Chemicals, pool chemicals, stuff like that outside. Foods. There's a lot of foods that dogs should not ingest. Alcohol is another big one. A lot of people seem to think, I'll give Fido a sip of my beer and he's going to be fine.
A little gin will be just fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it because it can actually make them really sick.
Well, we're in July, and we always talk about fireworks, and just some pets and most dogs, it just seems to have an issue with that. What are some of the things that you can do to help them get through that night or the week around the 4th?
Well, with the 4th, with the fireworks, I would leave your pet at home in a safe, secure, escape-free room of your house, part of your house that they won't be able to get out of. If you don't feel comfortable leaving your pets home, you could always try boarding them for the night, because a lot of places get super busy,
right?
Around the 4th, because a lot of dogs, people are nervous to leave them home. I would not bring them out to the fireworks, because a lot of dogs could get scared, they could run, they'll take off, and then now you have a whole nother fiasco on your hands of how I have to find my dog now.
Right.
Some vets even sedate dogs, because some dogs can't handle it at all, but that's all under the supervision of your vet. If it's something you think your dog is going to need to be sedated to survive the night of the fireworks, it's something you could talk to your vet about.
What are some of the services that the Wolfpack have in Bristol?
We have daycare, boarding, grooming, training. We also have the pet taxi.
Now, what's that?
We have Rover. He is
well, of course.
We call him Rover. He's our van, and we can go pick up your pet for daycare, for boarding, if you're unable to get to us. We can also pick up your pet and bring them to the vet if you need to. I mean, we've had a couple incidences where our clients have had an emergency situation where they've needed a ride to their vet because their dog would just not get in their car. They didn't have enough room in their car.
What a great service.
Yep, and we've picked up their pet and we've brought them to the vet for them.
There's a trend right now that I think is terrific. I mean, humans are trying to, eat better, but you actually can get fresh baked things that you offer here at Wolfpack.
Yep, we have a baker. She does all holistic, homemade, fresh to order, baked goods, treats, cakes, cupcakes, really anything. And if you want to do a cake, she can personalize it, happy birthday, with your dog's name, age.
I think another cool thing that you have here, because it's almost like one-stop shopping here at Wolfpack, that you've got a groomer.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about her and what somebody could expect if you've just maybe got a new pup or maybe just a new dog in general about grooming. What could she do for them?
She does everything from just a simple nail trim to a full-service haircut groom, and everything in between. If you just needed a bath, a nail trim, ear cleaning, she can do pretty much everything.
One of the things that I know this time of year, because we're in a very heavily wooded area and our part of the country has a lot of ticks, what's your recommendation on flea and tick remedies? And is it a collar, is it behind their back shoulders, or what do you think?
Me personally, I use the behind the collar,
between the shoulder
topical,
blades.
The topical stuff, and I also use all natural. I make a thing with oils, with a couple different essential oils, and I spray it on them right before we're going to go hiking, which seems to help a little bit. The collars are really good. The Seresto collars, I know.
Right.
Those work pretty well.
So I find a tick on my dog. What should I do now?
Get it off your dog. You don't want to leave it there.
No, you don't. So a good way to get him off a pet, is it the same as a human?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, they actually have little tick removers that you can get. We have them here just in case, because we are in a very heavily wooded area.
Right.
You just slide it on and it pulls the tick out, head and everything. If you have to use tweezers.
I was going to say the head is you may think you get it out and you really got to, kind of dig through there and get it.
So when you use tweezers, you just have to be careful that you go away as opposed to like pulling the tick the opposite direction that he looks like he's inserted, go like with the same direction. To make sure you get the head out.
So people may want to know more information about Wolfpack. What's the phone number and the website?
860-993-1601. And then our website is www.gowolfpack.com.